I don't even say that the letter in the alphabet. I don't even say the letter after K. Listen, I said I was the greatest there ever was before I even knew I was. I've been saying it since I was a teenager, I've been saying it since I was 20. I've been saying it since I was fighting for British titles and European titles. I've always said I'm the greatest before I even knew it. I will be the champion, and I won't stop there. The harder the road, the longer the rain. Nothing clean out, cold, unconscious. Or I take the breath away from him. Stop running, bitch. Let's go.
Yes, we are back at it, the real life, and this week's guest, yes, I've got him. It's the King of the North, Nico Carrillo. Nico, it's great to see you, mate. How's life treating you?
Good, mate. I can't complain. Everything's good. Thanks for having me on. I'm happy. I'm grateful, mate. I'm back in fight camp. I've got a fight lined up, so I'm over the moon about that, mate.
Recently, you were out in LA. I seen you doing a few seminars and things like that. Your odd podcast as well. How did that all come about? Is this a kind of thing you're doing now? You're venturing out and things like that?
No, mate. Obviously, just like the seminars, I've been doing them for a while now. Obviously now it's really taken off with me being on one and being ranked number one. Just travelling to places, and then when these gyms see that I'm going there, they just kind of reach out to me, and obviously now I'm putting it on my socials and stuff. I'm doing seminars. I will book out, so if you want me, I'm going to be in this country, I'm going to be here, I'm going to be based in the UK, and I'll just get loads of messages for it. But as glamorous as it looks, it's not what makes me tick. It's not it for me. I can do that when I'm retired. I can do that when I've stopped fighting. I've not even entered my prime yet, so I don't want to be all this time away travelling and doing that. I want to be in the country or in Thailand training all year round. That's what I want to do.
What makes you tick there? I mentioned that. What gets you up for it?
Mate, fight camp, mate. Fight camp, just going home every night with nothing left to give, spent. Let's do it again tomorrow. That's what makes me tick, mate. That's just my full focus and energy into one thing, and that's when the contract signed and I've got an opponent to think of.
How much are you obsessed with the sport? Do you think about it every second of the day? Is it always on your mind?
Always, mate. Like, that's how I got to where I am in such a small time period, mate, because the one word is obsession. I didn't do well in school because of my obsession with Muay Thai. Now, younger generation, I'm not saying follow my lead, but I'm just telling you my story. I would sit in the back of class and I would watch Muay Thai fights, and the teacher would then try to take my phone off me. I would argue with the teacher about trying to take my phone off me. That would get me in trouble. I would get suspended, and this was like a wee circle in school, because all I could think about when I was sitting in that classroom was, I can't wait for that 3 o'clock, 3:30 bell to ring so that I can go to training. And that was it, my teenage years, mate. As soon as I started, mate, I've just always, before that I've always been a competitor and I've always been competitive. But once I started Muay Thai, it was just, the day I walked into that gym I knew this was what I wanted to do the rest of my life.
You know what I like about you, Nico, right? You're this very humble character, very down to earth, very well mannered. But when you go to that ring, you turn into this, excuse my language, an absolute fucking savage, a machine, a man that will not be beat. When do you turn that switch on?
When I start fight camp. As soon as that contract signed, it's time to become a full-time savage. And that's, I'm 11 weeks out now, and I've ramped up the training already. I do obviously need to be careful of overtraining and peaking too early. But I have just came back from injury in my right hand. I had surgery, so that's why.
How is that now?
Good, so that's why I'm starting so far out, so that I can get used to punching and stuff again, which so far is going well. But as soon as that's contract signed, mate, I'm a full-time savage anyway, mate, outside of fight camp. I love ultra running. I'm always in the hills, in the mountains. I'm always training strength and conditioning. I'm always training anyway.
Very competitive person, aren't you?
Always, even outside of fight camp, I'm very competitive. So running with people, training with people, yeah, it's just, I don't know where it comes from, because I didn't have a dad, so I don't know where it stems from, but it's in there, it's in the DNA somewhere, I think.
You're a very articulate, very accurate fighter. As I said to you earlier, you're very strong in the clinch. Is that something you work on quite a lot?
Absolutely. The clinch for me was when I was 15 years old, going to Thailand. That brought my clinch on a lot. Like, you think of your boxers, the way they skip and the way they, I don't know, do certain drills or whatever. That is the way clinching is in Muay Thai. Like, some gyms clinch more than they hit pads for hours and hours a day. So the gym I went to was the same kind of setup when I was 15 years old. It was an old school Thai gym, Sase Prapa, and they had stadium champions, which back in the day, if you're a stadium champion, you're the elite of the elite in Thailand. And I would clinch with someone called Rung Ravi, who was a Channel 7 champion at the time. And
how much did you learn from him?
So much from him and all the other Thais that I trained with. It was just so much. And then what I realised is when I came back after that 2-month trip, I was only 16 at the time, and there was a couple of fighters in the gym fighting, and they were in the UK rankings in Muay Thai, 22, 23, 24-year-old, and I was coming home, I was 16 years old, and I was ragdolling them, beating them up. And that was it. So it was Thailand that really brought my clinch on. But from there, I always practice the clinch. You see a lot of these Thais just going through the motions in the clinch. Whenever I turn up to training, it's never about going through the motions like, oh, you're tired or whatever. It's you turn up and no matter how you feel, you give 100%. And that's in the clinch as well. I'll never just clinch for the sake of it. I'm clinching hard. I'm trying to put you in horrible locks. I'm trying to sweep you. I'm trying to get better. I'm never just going through the motions. So
the thing that intrigues me also, as I spoke to you about, was your power. That is real, mate. That power is insane. Going back to the Karabag fight, the Nong Ho fight, especially in the Nong Ho fight, the first round you kind of gave it away, but you came out and you blew this absolute legend away. Is that something you're working in camp as well, those big power shots? Because it's extremely incredible the way you're putting these guys away. Your rise to trajectory, sir, is beyond another level. I'm blown away. I really am.
Oh, thank you, mate. I appreciate that. The power, honestly, comes from strength and conditioning. So I started strength and conditioning way before any Thai boxer even knew what it was. Started training with my strength and conditioning coach, Ross McGaffney, who was in the Navy for 15 years, I think, and he was a PTI.
Tough dudes.
Aye.
See, the guys are different levels.
Exactly.
Navy SEALs as well. Incredible.
Exactly. So I started going with him, and I kind of developed that kind of mindset from training with him. I started training with him when I was 19, 20, and honestly, if you see the picture when I walked into that gym, see this like arm here, that was like the size of my legs from my hip down to my ankle, like just one, like my leg had nothing. In training with him, I started training specific to build strength in the areas, not for the sake of just doing bicep curls, for the sake of having big biceps, but to be specific to where I need to be strong, hooking, punching, kicking, stuff like that. It was all really specific, and it's always been like that still. And that is honestly where I grew a lot of my strength from, and then I put that into my training.
Tell me this, what have you got in these calves, right? Because seeing that Nong Ho fight, he was like delivering insane big kicks to those calves. You got titanium or steel on them. It's just your heart, because
it's no me that's got the titanium, it was him. It's got the fucking titanium in his shin. Please believe me when I say that. It's nothing to do with what I've got with my shin, but it's got a lot to do with what I've got with my heart.
Yeah.
And I've got this unwilling desire to never quit. So
that's one thing. You can train everything else, but you can't train a heart.
Nah, you can't.
You need a big heart in this game, and as I say, your heart's absolutely massive. Do you know what I mean?
The heart and the mind, you know, they're connected, and when you do connect them together, you're an unstoppable force. But it takes a lot of practice and a lot of suffering is the key word. It takes a lot of suffering to get them to be linked with each other.
Yeah. You spent a lot of time out in Thailand in these gyms, incredible place, cracking gyms. How much has that benefited your game?
Totally. Just I've been going out since I was 16 years old, 15, 16 years old. So just every year that I went out, it brought on my clinch, it brought on my kicking, my timing, just everything. And then every time you come back, everything you learn, you drill it in the gym. So yeah, like I've always said it in podcast interviews, anybody who ever asks me, young fighters should definitely go to Thailand, because at the end of the day, you're going over there and you're getting trained off these guys who've had 300 fights with your Scottish coach. probably not had a lot of fights, depending on who your coach is. Do you know what I mean? We're such a small little island, a small little place, so we're restricted of the knowledge. You know what I mean? So I would advise any young guy to go to Thailand.
Has it made you a better person in terms of the honour and respect that the Thai code has over there?
100%. I've just done a podcast over in LA and I spoke about the same kind of thing. Just martial arts and Thai boxing in general. It's taught me to be a better person. Taught me manners, culture. Manners in the case of in a martial arts gym, you take your shoes off in the gym before you walk in. You bow to everybody. You shake everybody's hand when you start. And then the culture in Thailand, I know everybody's just so friendly. So now you're at a young age learning about other places in the world and realising that fucking Scotland is we're brought up slightly different from other places.
Were these guys tough on you with the Thai guys when you first, you're the foreigner coming in? Like,
that's it, aye.
Do you have to gain their respect?
Aye, so when I was clinching with them, they wouldn't really take it easy on me, and I was a raw beginner in the clinch to these guys, and I remember I would come in, I would come in the gym with my neck like spasmed for days, and I couldn't turn my neck. If somebody was talking to me over here, I would need to turn around and talk to them. And then I think what they appreciated is the fact that I would still just go back into the clinch just in agony, and I just kept turning up and doing it. So I think there's a little bit of respect for the foreigners when they see that the wee guy isn't going to give up.
Yeah. What got you into Muay Thai initially?
Mate, just a pure freak accident, honestly. Me and my pal Jazz always played football.
Right.
And he wasn't there at the Scots and Leisure one day, and the next day, because we played football almost every single night, so we did, and I asked him where he was the night before, and he says he went to a mad fucking fighting gym thing. I was like, okay. He said, but you should come, you'll like it. If I liked it, you'll definitely like it. And I did, and that was it. I walked into that gym, and I remember it like it was yesterday.
Did you fall in love with it quickly?
I fell in love with it the second I walked into the place.
What was good about it? What made you fall in love with it?
Honestly, I remember walking in, there was a guy, one of the guys I was just talking about, who was ranked high in the rankings and stuff at the time when I first started. He just fought at the weekend, and he was around, and everybody was around him, like taking pictures with him and all that. And I walked in, I was like, that's so fucking cool. So I want that. So, well, that wasn't the reason, but I remember that. I just remember that day walking in the gym that happened, and I was like, this is so cool. And then just everything else clicked.
Did you pick it up really quick?
I fought 2 months later in a junior Scottish Open, and it's a kind of like junior rules, so it's kind of like a semi-cup, a semi-quarter-final kind of quarter-semi-final thing. So at my weight category there was 4 people, so I fought someone and I beat him, and then the other 2 guys fought, and then me and the 2 winners fought each other, and then I won that fight as well, and I was crowned Scottish junior champion, my first and second ever fight.
How did that make you feel?
Good. I remember it made me feel good, but I was just right back in the gym and I just wanted to do better.
You love fighting, mate?
I love fighting, mate. Like I truly love it more than a lot of things in this life.
What makes a good fighter?
Honestly, a lot of the cliche stuff that you'll know that I'm going to say: hard work, dedication. But just not having an ego is really important for a fighter. When you have an ego, you will die with your ego. You can't have an ego. Now, every fighter needs to have an ego of some sort. That's what takes you through getting punched and being able to give them back and stuff. But I mean, like a real ego, like on a pedestal, you need to remove yourself from that. That makes a good fighter. Obviously, just always listening, always never thinking you're better than anybody.
Always learning.
Always have this ear open to take information in. Another thing that's helped me progress as a good fighter is having a rock of a woman by my side since I first started.
How important is that to you?
It's super important to me. A lot of people see all the work that I do and what I go through, but what they don't understand is anything that I go through, she goes through as well. So a bad training session, I go home and she's the person that I'm in a bad mood, she's the one that has to deal with me. Food, she's the one that cooks it for me. When I'm dieting, she goes on diets. when I'm cutting weight, it's no easy to be around me when I'm cutting weight, and she just holds it together very well for me.
Yeah, if you have a woman that's with you when you're on the up, and she's 100% behind you, that is really a beautiful thing, if you ask me. Do you know what I mean? Because without that person, you can sink. Do you know what I mean? You need somebody at your side at all times and keeping you right and telling you when things are wrong and they're right, and vice versa. Do you know what I mean? That's so important for any sportsman to be a successful person. Do you know what I mean? Having a good lady by your side.
Like all the greats have always had a great woman by their side. So
look at Conor McGregor, Dee Devlin. Look at that, she's been there for the start.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? That is an incredible story, if you ask me.
And there's many more like that as well.
So just touching back, obviously, was Muay Thai a kind of escape for you when you were young, 15? You've been 10 years in this game, it's went quick, but way back to your 14, 15, was that an escape for you back then?
It wasn't an escape. Like I didn't know it was an escape, but obviously it was. Like, not an escape for me mentally or anything. I was obsessed with it as soon as I done it, but it was an escape as in it led me onto a right trajectory, the right direction. So it took me off the streets.
Do you need to pinch yourself? You're in Thailand, these big stadium fights and things like that. You say, well, fucking hell, I'm here, this is insane. Like, I'll go back to obviously when you were at school and you used to watch video clips in Nong Ho on your phone in school.
That's right.
And then 10 years later, you're in a stadium fight in Thailand, you're fighting this guy and you've just took him in the second round, and the respect you showed for that man that night, it was truly incredible. But when you look back to those times when you're in school and you're getting suspended and things like that, that's some story, sir.
I mean, I probably don't do it anywhere near enough, because it's, unfortunately in this game, it's you've done this, right, what's next? Well, that's me anyway, that's my mindset. Done it, what's next? I'm always chasing. Because listen, either you're getting worse or you're getting better. You're never staying the same. Every day that goes by, you do nothing, well, you're worse than the day before. You're either getting better every day, you're never staying the same. You never stay in that same spot. Every day you're getting better or you're getting worse. That's it. Yeah. So when I fight, what's next? I'm always chasing it. And unfortunately, you're chasing it so long that 3 years have just went by.
Yeah.
And you stop and go, fucking hell, what have I just accomplished in this time?
Time waits for no man. It's the most expensive thing that we spend.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? It never waits for you. Before you know it, you'll be at one championship final, you'll be defending the belt, you'll be the king of the division. Do you see those things right in front of you? You're almost there, you can almost touch it.
I can, to the point that it's so real that it just makes, like, honestly, like when you say, like, it's totally real, like what I can see with this gold strap.
What would that mean to you to get that gold strap? Is that everything?
No.
What's everything?
Everything's leaving a legacy and inspiring the next generation, inspiring the kids below me, and inspiring Scottish people. That's everything for me. The belt is, I know that's probably not the answer you expected, but what happens when you win the belt? I look at all the great champions when they've won belts, they stagnate after it and they don't get any better. So for me, my vision is to win the belt, but that's not the whole all and end all. It's to win the belt, it's to defend the belt, it's to do other things, it's to just keep competing, because my mind doesn't settle on one thing, because what happens when that one thing happens? You fall off, don't you?
Yeah.
So it's important for my mind. All my attention is on the belt, but when it comes, that won't be it. There will be more, and I'll improve, and I'll try to get better, and I want to defend it, and I want to reign as the champion for as long as possible. But in the end, when they close the book on Nico Carrillo, and someone else comes along and grabs the book and they open it,
you're there.
My name's there. He came from this. He didn't have a good upbringing. Poverty. He grew up in a really rough area. The friends were in jail. This happened. People died. But he done this. But he done this. And he went on to do this. And I don't know, this could be a young guy in 20 years time, 30 years time from Scotland that opens that book and says,
you want to make that blueprint, don't you?
Mm-hmm. I want to inspire people from where I grew up.
Yeah.
That is the most important thing for me.
One thing I'd like to talk to you about is, in this day and culture in the world, especially in London and Glasgow, Manchester, the knife culture is completely out of control.
I've been stabbed.
Yeah. How did that happen?
Just fucking a stupid teenager.
Mm-hmm. Was it gang life stuff or?
Not entirely, but you could say it was. But it wasn't. It wasn't entirely. I was at a nightclub and a guy was trying to pick a fight with me,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to fight with him, and he waited outside for me, and he picked a fight with the wrong guy, and I beat him up pretty bad,
Yeah.
and I then seen him at a later date again, and I got stabbed.
They come at you behind, I take it, aye, shit house and stuff.
Well, we got into a scuffle actually, and I was actually running after him, and he just kind of turned, and I didn't even see it coming. Just stuck it in my leg.
What age were you then?
19.
Oh, that's incredible. Did stitches?
18 I might have been actually.
Yeah,
18.
Hospital stitches. How did it? What actually?
Oh mate, I nearly died.
Right. How bad was it? Were you in hospital or how?
I was in hospital, and I had to get kept on a drip for 24 hours, and I was going to go into theatre, but then they came in the next day and they actually liked the look of it. Whatever the fuck that means, but I didn't have to go to theatre. But
How scary was that?
it was the most scariest thing that's ever happened to me. And the funny thing is when the lights were shutting on me, the only thing I could think about was my fiancée, Amy.
Right.
It was the only one thing in my thought. So,
What did she think? She must have been up the wall.
scared. Everybody in the family was scared. It's a scary phone call to get that someone's been stabbed.
Yeah.
But that was it from that day. I never misbehaved again.
Yeah.
And that was it. From there, I've never been in trouble or anything.
How did you cope mentally with that? Because that's for somebody to do that, it's a fucking coward if you ask me. But see, dealing with that mentally and emotionally.
It takes to be the best fighter in the world, man. It takes a fucking idiot to pick up a fucking blade and stick it in you. So that's what it is. Mentally, it wasn't good. I'm not going to lie. I was in a bad place after it for a long time. But again, it's just another story to tell that anybody can come through the fire. Anybody can come through adversity and turn my life around. Because right there and then, my life was at rock bottom. And I was a good fighter.
Yeah.
A good fighter. But at that period, I had hit rock bottom. Truly hit rock bottom. And they say they're the strongest warriors have all hit rock bottom at one point in their life.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool. It's obviously being stabbed at a young age and things like that. Is that I'll worry for the youth of today. But if I could ask you, is there a message just now that you could send out there to the youth of today, that the troubled individuals that are all about to be nice and are stabbing people and things like that? What could you say to these young kids that were to get down to the gym or things like that? Can you send out a message to these people at this moment in time?
Honestly, it's a message isn't going to help with what's happening, to be honest. I mean, I could say the same old shit, or fucking put the knives down, pick up the gloves, but really it's about them being a product of their environment, and it's up to them to change their environment, and it's up to them if they want to. Me, I know how I grew up. I seen the older generation chasing each other, fucking back and forth, Yoker, Scotstoun, and then my generation, all my pals were doing the same stuff, and I was like, I know how the older generation, still boys older than me, are never able to go into the town, or never be able to do anything because they need to look over their shoulder the rest of their life.
Yeah.
So I was already quite switched on at a young age. Like, I don't want that when I'm older.
Yeah.
So I decided to not be a product of my environment. Now I can say, do this, do that, but are they going to listen? Because real change starts from within.
Yeah. You have to want to do it, don't you?
Exactly.
Self-belief in it as well, do you know what I mean? But
Exactly.
that's what I like about you as well, mate. You matured very quickly. You went to Thailand when you were 15, 16, around about that age category. What, see when you first went there, were you like, well, was it a culture shock to you at the time? Because obviously, yeah, how did that all go down?
Crazy, like, I went with my coach, JP, and he'd been the year before anyway, so he was kind of telling me everything, like, this is, by the way, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that, these are the things that you must not do, so I kind of knew, and then when I went, it was just, mate, it was just, honestly, it was just amazing getting to go at such a young age, and just, stuff like that, I believe, has helped me mature into what I am today.
You grew up fast?
Aye, I think so. I think that's what helps.
Yeah. Is that going back to not having a dad back then, obviously? Because obviously your mum and gran kind of brought you up, and did they give you the guidance to get you on the right path as well?
I mean, not the right guidance, not the not correct guidance.
Yeah.
My mum was always quite a strict parent, in the sense of the rest of the boys would be out playing quite late, and I would always be the first cunt that go fucking called up. You'd always hear my mum for the window screaming my name, man.
Just worrying me.
And then she would be out to the streets looking for me. If I was at the other side down the other end of the street, I would be the one getting called up. Right, dinner, you're not leaving until you get dinner. But a lot of the other boys had a bit more slack.
Yeah.
So in that sense, maybe she was a little bit stricter than other parents in a way, but
you look back and you'll be thankful for that, because the way the young team are now and run about daft, and you need that. But your mother, I'm like that as well. My mother was like that as well, and I say to myself, thank God she did that, because you end up fucking losing your mind. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
You're doing the wrong road. Do you know what I'm saying? So obviously in Thailand you had that first fight and you were 16. Tell me about the opponent and things like that, and how that all came about.
It was planned for us going out. So my coach, again, he'd been the year before, and he built up a relationship with the gym, and he went. In a we kind of knew that after a few weeks of training there and that, we would get a fight, and then that's what happened. We got there, and I think we had a fight 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
And it was just sink or swim.
Yeah. Did you know back then that you had what it takes to be a champion?
Good question. Right then and then.
Yeah. In that first fight in Thailand, because you went to the Lions Den at 16 and you're saying to yourself, man, as you said a minute ago, that was sink or swim.
I think I did.
Yeah.
I think I knew. But then I get asked this question, did you know that you were going to be where you are today? And the answer is no. And because back then, when I first started, right, when I walked into the gym that day, I wanted to be a fighter. So that was my goal, to be a fighter. Not a world champion, because I'm not even a fighter yet, I'm not a fight. I want to be a fighter, right, I've had my fight, right, I want to progress now as a fighter. Right, I've progressed as a fighter, right, I now want to fight at this level, right, now I want to make my way up the rankings, right, so it's all wee mini goals.
Yeah.
It's never, I walked in the gym, I'm going to be a world champion in 10 years. No, it's unrealistic, innit?
Yeah.
So it's the mini...
Building the blocks.
It's these little blocks that, and that's to anybody in life, anybody opening a business, and it doesn't have to be an athlete. Anything in life, you can't look at 10 years away because you're going to get overwhelmed. You have to just tick off the goals day by day, week by week. That's the most important thing to building any success in life. Don't look too far ahead. I'm a big fan of ultra endurance races, 100-mile races.
David Goggins stuff.
You can't get to 12 miles and be, oh my God, I've still got 87, 88 miles to run, and your legs are already hurting. No, you just need to say, I'm going to run another mile. I'm going to run another mile.
Yeah.
See how I feel in a mile. See how I feel in another mile. I'll take a wee 30-second break. I'll have something to eat. Then I'm going to run another mile.
Do you push yourself to the limit every day? Every day.
Do I? I don't push myself. In fight camp I do. Absolutely, and I will be now.
That's 12-week camp usually, isn't it?
Aye, not as long. I'm always fit. Like, I've just came back from injury, and I was in this morning, and I felt actually really, really good from being out in injury for so long.
How's the hand?
The hand's good. The hand felt great. Just getting used to building the power up and stuff again. But I do push myself pretty hard every day. In fight camp, there's another wee level unlocked to that, what we said at the start of the podcast, going home and I am spent. I have nothing left to give. And that's the beauty of fight camp. I can do that. Because outside of fight camp, I've got a life, so I can't do that every day, or else I'd be walking around like a fucking
zombie.
Exactly, like a zombie. But when I'm in fight camp, that's my only sole focus, so I don't care about anything else. When I'm in fight camp, nothing else in my life matters, apart from that date and the training that gets put into it.
Tell me some of the fighters that you study. If it's boxing, Muay Thai, UFC, tell me some of the guys you've been watching for years and you've took segments out of their game and blended your own style. Tell me some of the guys.
Floyd Mayweather would have to be the main one. Floyd Mayweather, obviously when I was a young kid, Conor McGregor was the champ, and he is what he is now, a crazy guy, but no one can ever take away what he'd done.
Yeah.
No one, and he was a spectacular fighter, one of the best ever. I liked his style. I try to replicate some stuff he done. I would watch Sanjay, and I would come in the gym and I would try and shuffle my feet and kick. Then I would watch people like Mike Tyson and heavy hitters, and then I would try plant my feet. So I would just 2 weeks straight be obsessed with one guy, and I would come in and try mimic everything they done. And then the next guy, that, and then Pech Bunchu, Great, one of the best, the most decorated Thai fighter ever. Held the most titles at one time in the stadiums. He was a clinch fighter. So I would watch him. I would just watch things in the clinch he done, and then I would go in the gym, train, and then coach would say sparring, and I wouldn't do anything apart from rush into the clinch and try, and that would just be my obsession, clinching for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And eventually it became like I sponged it all in to the fact that I can now do it all.
The thing I like about you the most, mate, obviously I go on about your power, it's incredible, but to me that you're no arse what's coming back. And to me that's a man that is ferocious, ready to go, full of energy, full of vibrancy, but you know you've got the power to take any man out in that division. That's mesmerising if you ask me.
Yeah, I do know that. I do know I can take any man out when I fight. It's a case of them being lucky for it now. It's 3-round fights now until it's a title fight. Yeah. So when I fight, it's a case of them being lucky for 9 minutes. Can they really not get hit by me for 9 minutes? Unlikely.
Very unlikely.
And for me, it's a case of finding a chin once. So the odds are for me and not for them.
All you need is that one shot, eh?
Always. Aye. I'm a one shot kill kind of guy.
It's your precision that I'm most intrigued with. It's just how you find that target and you find that chin. And these guys you're fighting, it's not as if they're journeymen. These guys are former champions. These are the deal. That's the great thing about the one championship. There's no bumps to your fights.
No.
It's tremendous talent.
It's not like boxing. You get journeyman and all once, and it's like the UFC as well. There's no such thing. Once you're in that company, you're branded as the best fighter.
Best versus the best all the time, innit?
That's it.
That's the way it should be. The one championship, mate, is on the rise. It's getting huge. We spoke about that. It's getting absolutely huge. In boxing, we've had like Floyd Mayweather. Killed the game for years. Took all the fucking money out of the game, didn't he? Do you know what I mean? Then you get obviously Conor McGregor coming through the UFC. His rise to stardom. He took the UFC into that next stratosphere. A question I'd like to ask you, are you that fighter that the one championship needs, so that cash cow, that pay-per-view guy, are you that person? It needs somebody like that, because if you're that person, it goes into the stratosphere if you ask me, and it needs somebody like yourself.
I believe that I am. They just need to give me the platform to prove that I am. They need to let me fight more often to prove that every time I turn up, the most people tune in. The audience are always the most wild. I am the guy that everybody wants to watch fight.
Yeah.
I'm loved in Thailand.
Yeah.
And but the problem is they're not giving me enough fights, so they just need to let me fight more often to prove it.
Aye.
Let me prove my worth.
Does that frustrate you at times?
Totally, 100%.
Do you speak to the directors at One Championship? Do you have them? Do they in touch with you, email you? You get a manager?
I've got Zype's my manager and coach. He deals with it. It's not easy.
Is he pushing, but is he constantly on the case?
He is, because he feels the pressure from me, because I fucking push him for it. So he is pushing, but listen, no one's bigger than the company, unfortunately, and that's the way it will always be. No one will ever be bigger than the company, so at the end of the day, what they say goes. But just give me the platform to perform, and I'll always do it. Anytime you've put me on the stage, I've blown every person away.
Yeah,
just let me date more often, because like I said, I need to go and do seminars after this. I need to go do this because I'm out of fight camp again after that. Oh my God, keep me in fight camp all year. Nothing would make me happier.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I'm sure every major organisation has got their problems. So it is what it is, and you can only be grateful for what's in front of you and what you have. So
yeah. You touched on Floyd Mayweather there. Floyd Mayweather was a man that losing never crossed his mind. Do you carry that mindset as well?
Totally, totally. I don't even say that the letter in the alphabet. I don't even say the letter after K. I don't even say it. It's not in my vocabulary.
And the good thing is as well, mate, you've got a chin, because I watched a lot of your fights and you've been cracked. And you have been cracked, do you know what I mean? But you just eat these shots and you eat these leg kicks, and I don't know whether that's done to your conditioning, but I know it's down to your heart, but the way you eat these shots as well, what you actually do is, you remind me in the kind of same frame mind as Arthur Bertibiev, because you break these people's souls, and this is what this man does, and you're doing the exact same. Do you know what I mean?
About taking souls. David Coggins style.
Aye, definitely.
I love it. I live by it. I live by the mentality. In training as well. That's it, man. Take your souls.
If you don't have that mindset that you're the best ever, you've lost already.
Listen, I said I was the greatest there ever was before I even knew I was. I've been saying it since I was a teenager. I've been saying it since I was 20. I've been saying it since I was fighting for British titles and European titles. I've always said I'm the greatest before I even knew it. Now I know I am.
There's no one like you There's never been no one like you. Just be yourself, mate.
That's the beauty. That's the beauty of it. No one is me.
Yeah. The one championship was an absolute stellar fighter, and the sooner they realise, which I think they will, because you keep winning, but the thing is as well, you keep winning by knockout as well. There's you don't go in there and start fucking about. You go in there, you're in to do some serious damage. Do you know what I mean? That is what's happening, some serious damage.
We'll get paid overtime.
You don't get paid overtime, don't you? It's but see, before this amazing journey, what did you work as?
I was an electrician.
Right, how did you find that?
So, like I said, leaving school, wasn't well behaved. I left school with nothing. Luckily, I met the love of my life, Amy, my fiance now. And her dad was a successful businessman. He had electrical companies, etc. And he offered me a job as an electrician. Right. And I worked as a Sparks mate for a year. And then I was doing all right. And so he ended up putting me through an apprenticeship.
How grateful is you for that?
Totally, of course. I and I'm not even grateful for that. I'm just grateful for everything my fiance's dad and the parents have done to me. They took me into their house at a young age. I stayed. I lived with them for 3 years.
They believe in you?
They do now. There was a time when I was an electrician that they didn't. But I'm sure they won't mind me saying, because I was a young guy and they've probably heard a million stories of all the footballers who could have made it and could have been this. And
you hear it all the time, don't you?
Exactly. All my wee pals a boxer, I fucking broke his hip, couldn't do it anymore. No, how many times you heard that story? When do you ever hear about that one guy from Scotland who actually goes out and does it? It's unheard of. So for them it was, you should probably finish your trade test, you should probably do time out, just in case you need something to fall back on it. They didn't realise, they didn't see the vision in my head.
Yeah.
But it's fine, it wasn't ever for them to see. That's why it's in my head, that's why it's my vision. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes the vision in your head would fucking terrify other people.
You manifest this, didn't you, daily?
Absolutely, of course I did. Of course I did. Look at podcasts for years and years ago, I've been saying the same stuff. I will be the champion and I won't stop there, because they've gave me a hard road to get to championship status. But listen to this, the harder the road, the longer the rain.
100%.
So regarding my fiance's parents, they believe in me now. They follow me all over the world now.
That's great, isn't it?
They come on your face. Come in every flight to Thailand. That was a time when I was an electrician where they weren't as interested, because I don't think they realised the trajectory I was on. And obviously the way they need to think about it is, what is he doing? Fucking just going having fights, making fucking £400 a fight and all that. And they need to think about their daughter.
Yeah.
They need to think about, is this guy going to pay the bills for my daughter? Is this a get? Do you know what I mean?
Has her dad ever had a conversation with you going saying, I believe in you, son, I know you can do this now? When did that happen? Did they ever say that to you?
There was never a time that I can remember how it just happened.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure he's happy the guy his daughter's ended up with. I can say that with confidence.
You touched on Amy there, your fiance. Is she your best mate?
My soulmate.
Yeah.
My soulmate.
How did you meet her?
Just through school. I wasn't at the same school as her. I went to St Tam, she went to Knightswood, and my pal at the time, Ellis, his name was quite pally with people for that school and that. And fucking, I was just kinda, I just fucking got hung about at the same kind of place and all that, and that was it really. That's how I met her.
Aye. How long have you been together?
10 years.
That's incredible. That's just when you started Muay Thai, wasn't it?
Exactly.
10 years in the game.
She's been to every fight. She's never missed a fight in my life.
She believes in you, didn't she? Always has.
Totally.
Always will.
Always. Because the thing is, at a young age, I sold her the dream.
Yeah.
I sold her the dream. But one day I'm going to be this, and one day I'm going to do this, and one day I'm going to take you out of work, and one day you're never going to need to work again. One day we're going to have financial freedom. And that right there is one of my biggest motivations. The day that I said that to her, I will stick by that. And everything so far is falling into place. We're not there 100% yet, but oh my God, are we getting there?
What's the key to a successful relationship?
Honesty. Amount of people, my friends and people I know, cheat on their missus, and it's just the culture in Scotland, and they fucking go to the strip clubs and all that. It's just as a young age, I've just never I totally invested in one person to the point where my mindset was always I wouldn't like that getting done to me, so I'll never do it to them.
You're big on loyalty, aren't you?
Massive on loyalty. If we don't have loyalty, man, we don't have nothing. Loyalty is what makes a person pure.
That's what I said to you earlier. If you have a woman by your side that truly believes in you and understands who you really are, that's something that money can't buy, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's such a big thing, if you ask me.
Mate, if I went broke tomorrow, mate, and I had to live in a fucking 1-bedroom apartment, she would be there anyway. So that's where I'm at with her.
I like that, mate. You were brought up in Glasgow. How was your upbringing?
Mate, rough. Rough as fucking toast, mate. Very. I grew up in Scotstoun. Scheme fighting, Scotstoun was in the middle, Govan was across the water, Gilcar was there, Cuckton and Lincoln were there, White Inch were there, we were in the middle, we were hated by everybody.
Yeah.
So we couldn't go anywhere without looking over our shoulders. That was the way I was. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, got into Muay Thai, was still quite scared to get on the bus for Scotstoun into Partick in case fucking cunts got on the bus and all that. That was... And then 16, 17 I started getting really confident and I started also pulling myself away from the people.
Yeah. How'd you go on at school? Terrible?
Class clown.
Aye.
Class clown.
Suspended a few times, what was the cause of that?
Suspended every year 4 times. So, first year I got suspended 4 times, second year I got suspended 4 times, third year I got suspended 4 times, fourth year I got suspended 4 times, tongue twister, and 5th year I left school early.
Fuck, that's some record, man.
I know. Well, I had the papers. I had the papers to like be transferred to another school and all that. And it's a funny story actually. This was in first year, and my mum came in. My mum came in, and we're sitting around this table, and she's got the papers there. My mum's sitting there, and the first year head of the year sitting there. So right, there's the school. So how you got to travel with this and all that? This is your last chance. You'll be signing these papers now. And she was talking to me, and my mum was like, "Look, Nico, this is your last chance." Blah blah blah. And then the teacher said something that my mum didn't like, and my mum started arguing with the teacher, going, "Fucking talk to my son, you can go fucking for Scotstoun with BAMs and all that." So I then got sent home for another few days because my mum offered the teacher a square go.
You're joking.
She was like, "Aye, fucking, you can talk to us, fucking outside." And then the head teacher had to come in and break it up, and fucking that was the scariest walk home of my life.
Aye.
My mum took it out me as if it was my fault that she fucking nearly battled my teacher. I just walked behind her for ages, man. I was fucking shitting myself, but I was happy I know because I had an extra few days off school. But aye, that was kind of the way I was brought up. Do you know what I mean? So, and listen, I wouldn't change any of it for the world.
Yeah.
Because I believe that everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And me acting that way in school and not getting in not in education, I'm fucking not a stupid boy, but I'm not so clever in the sense of mathematics and all that. You know what I mean?
Aye.
But maybe that was a plan to be that you're not meant to be working for people.
Yeah.
You're always meant to do your own thing.
School isn't everything. You're a
It's
good
no,
talker
mate,
as well.
we're not taught the things we're meant to be taught anyway. So,
You're a good talker as well, do you know what I mean?
I should be. I've fucking done this enough times.
Did you escape through the scheme, basically?
I did.
Aye. Is that the way is that how to word that there?
I escaped, mate.
I
got out.
Is some of your friends dead on drugs?
Yes.
Is that down to the gang culture, do you think?
Yes.
How do you feel about all that?
Mate, I'm happy it's not really a thing anymore. I think I was the last generation of it, and I'm sure in the East End it's still fucking quite mad, but Yoker, Scotstoun, Clydebank area, my God, man, you rarely see we guys wearing the cost trackies and that anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The rig outs and all that. You know what I mean?
Kappa.
Exactly, mate. They're not wearing the same clothes and that as we used to, which is good.
Yeah.
You see it. Sometimes you'll go into the East End and that, and I still see it, and I'm like, it's good to see, to be fair. I like seeing it, you know what I mean? But it's
Boxy, Mad Dog and Bucky and all
that.
that.
Yesterday for the first time, driving home from the gym, a wee guy in Scotstoun, man, fucking me his tap off with a bottle of Buckfast.
Do you ever see any of them you're out kind of cutting about in that way? Asda or something?
Honestly, not really that much anymore. But I've always stopped them.
Yeah.
Some of them are still my friends, and I'll always speak to them. But a lot of them are also fucking losers. So.
Yeah. No, the crazy thing as well, see that I've obviously done a bit of research and things like that, and see the thing I think amazing, right? The fact that you were in school, right, and you were watching videos in Nong Ho, right, on your phone in school, getting your phone took off you and things like that. You go forward 10 years, you find this guy.
Mate,
see that, mate, that's Hollywood shit.
So it's funny to me when you say it, because I don't really ever hear it. because I'm thinking it.
Oh no, it
Does that make sense? You see, when you say it to me, no, that's like
Yeah.
one of the settings where I pinch myself.
Yeah.
That's that. But I don't ever take the time to do that until somebody actually says it to me, and I listen to it, and I'm like, that's crazy.
It's crazy, man. Obviously, with your upbringing as well, your mum and dad split up when you were 5. How did you cope with that mentally and emotionally?
I didn't even know, mate. I was so young, I don't remember.
Yeah.
You
still keep in touch with your dad, or no? It's just completely gone? Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm cold, mate. I'm
Lone wolf.
I'm a cold-hearted motherfucker, mate. I do not care for much.
Yeah.
If you ain't with me, you're against me, and it doesn't bother me, mate. It makes me think no different or better of someone.
It made you mature quickly, but
probably, I don't know, maybe. Listen, I would love nothing more than to have a dad. I never got that privilege in life. That was the cards I was dealt.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it? Cry about it? Move on, man. Shit happens. That's life.
It's just you and Amy, innit?
Mate, me and Amy. Me and Amy, my training partners, coaches. I don't see anybody else, mate.
Yeah. Speaking of training partners, obviously you're under the guidance of JP Gallagher. He's like a brother to you, isn't he?
Aye, for sure. Like I said, he's been there the full journey. He's in Thailand right now, so he is. I'll be flying out in a month or so.
Yeah. Taking the camp and board gritty, I take it, yeah. What makes GP a good coach?
The thing I said about ego. So these coaches think they know everything, but he's always wanted to learn more.
Yeah.
Also, what makes him a good coach is his experience, because he was a great junior fighter. So he's been in the sport since he's been in nappies. Do you know what I mean? He's always been in the sport. So obviously that makes him a good coach, being in the sport for so long, being around it.
You was at school together?
No. I mean, we've lived totally
How did you meet then? How did it?
Gym,
right.
He started training. He always trained at another gym, and then the gym that I went to, he started training at that gym.
Okay.
So when I first went to the gym, he was still actually a fighter.
Right.
And he just started holding pads for me and stuff, and we just really built up a really good relationship.
Yeah.
Of that.
Did you click straight away, aye?
Probably. He'll probably tell you we did.
That's huge, isn't it?
I don't really remember as much, but he'll probably tell you that we definitely clicked right away. Of course it's huge, aye, and then we just built a relationship from there. But what makes him a great coach is just he's always wanting to learn, and he's always trying to. He's not got an ego when it comes to Muay Thai.
Yeah.
So for example, we're hitting pads or doing something like my coach. I have so much trust in him to the point that I don't even watch my opponents anymore. I just say, tell me what we have to do.
What to do, aye.
What to do? What is the game plan?
Yeah.
He'll send me the game plan. He'll go, do me a favour though. Look at it and go watch the fight and tell me if you agree. Then I'll look at what the game plan is. I'll go watch the guy fight, and then I'll say, could probably add this in instead of that. This. So wee tweaks.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, perfect, that's great. So we bounce off each other. And then when we're in the gym, we're working stuff. He's no like, this is it and this is all we're doing. It'll be, if something works and I don't like it, I'll go, mate, I would rather do that instead. And he'll be like, I didn't think of that, that works better actually, do that. So he's just always, he's not got an ego when it comes to, I'm the coach, you listen to everything I do.
Yeah.
He understands that fighters and coaches' minds work better together. You know what I mean, when you're bouncing off each other. So that's what makes him a great coach. He's always wanting to learn. He's always taking information from other people as well. He's always looking at other padmen, coaches, boxing. He loves Ben Davis, boxing coach.
Ben Davis.
He admires him. Loves
him and Lee Wiley, they've got a good setup down there. They're very articulate. They're a coach for Devin Haney as well.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So JP, like me, I look at fighters. JP looks at coaches.
Yeah.
And he says, well, why are all his fighters so successful? It's obviously something to the coaches then.
Analyst is huge, yeah.
That's right, he's a big analyst, aye. That's exactly it.
He probably knows some of the fighters better than he knows himself, do you know what I mean?
Probably.
Is he one of the best in the game, JP?
He's the best.
How respected is he in Thailand?
Famous. He's the first foreigner ever to win Thai Gym of the Year.
Yeah.
The first foreigner ever to get an award for the Thai Gym of the Year. It's not his gym, but they only won it because we've went there and trained there and we've won the fights and
That's
stuff.
some achievement, by the way.
JP's the best coach in the world, bar none.
I'm going to read this quote to you that I've memorised, right? On the 17th of December last year, before he fought Nong Ho, he said in his Instagram, he says, "This is the most important day of our lives, meaning you and him." What do you make of that comment?
Yeah, goosebumps actually thinking about it. It's true, you know what I mean? JP's been there from the start, and it's as much his dream as it is mine to do what we're doing. He's been through every little up and down moment. He's been there through all the tears in fight camp, all the injuries.
That's what everybody doesn't see. I know I'm a huge fan, and people don't realise what you guys go through, the stress, the
you
pressure.
you see me getting my hand raised at the end of the fight. You don't know what we went through to get there.
Hell.
You don't know the money that we've had, the financial problems, even to train. We at one point we were kicked out of a gym and we were training in the streets. We had these little mats in a wee grassy field. Do you know what I mean? But we've always just kept the vision, always kept the vision alive. And when he said that, like I said, it's as much his dream as it is mine, and it's the most important day of our lives, because everything we've trained, everything we've done, the hours and hours that we've spent in the gym for all these years led to that one moment, to get to that chance to fight for that number one spot at one championship, to be in the biggest platform in the world. We dreamed it only the year before. We weren't even signed to the company.
Yeah.
Only a year before it. A year later, I'm already ranked number one in the space of a year. Championship contender in the space of a year. The year before, I was fighting in Bolton Stadium, not even in the company. Do you know what I mean? So him saying that is just, it is, everything we've done in our life led to that one moment.
His brothers who done it, do you know what I mean?
That's it. And it's snakes and ladders. You lose that, it's done. You're right back to square one.
There is this number one guy, Jonathan Haggerty. That's the fight the world, the fans want to see. It could be dubbed the General versus the King. The way I see it, the General's no fit for the King.
No, he's a fuck. Because the King always rules over the generals.
Yeah. How do you beat this man?
Knock him clean out, cold, unconscious. Or I take the breath away from him.
What do you simply have that he will have no answer to?
My power, my persistence, my unwillingness to quit. I don't know how to quit.
Do you believe you outgun this man in every single department?
Apart from speed, he's quicker. That's it. He has nothing else on me. My clinch is better. I'm stronger. He's pretty accurate. I'm very accurate as well. I hit harder. I have a bigger heart. I have a bigger gas tank. This guy cannot beat me. He cannot beat me. It's impossible.
You got a message for him?
Stop running, bitch. Let's go. What else you want me to say? The full world can see what this guy is. He's a coward. He got asked in an interview, what do you want to be remembered for? He said knocking out Nico Carrillo. He then fought a week later and he got punched off a bantamweight and nearly quit. He went down and he thought about quitting, right? You know, the bantamweight that put him down, he's the weakest puncher in the division. The weakest puncher in the division. After the fight, he gets my name brought up. Oh, I don't want to talk about that guy. See, since that day, after saying he wants to be remembered for knocking me out, he's never brought my name up again. Because he knows.
Do you think his bottles went because the way your rise, your trajectory to that level? Do you think his bottles went, seriously?
100% think his bottles, and I think half the UK think his bottles went as well.
How do you get this fight?
He was shouting my name weeks and weeks before he fought Felipe Lobo, and he's never mentioned my name again after the fight because he got dropped and nearly quit. Imagine it was me that hit him. Oh my God, he would have woke up 4 days later.
Easy. Do you take this man out early, first, second round? How does it go? Do you manifest this? Do you visualise how this fight goes? Tell me what happens. You walk straight up to this man, just tee off and go through the gears?
Absolutely. I break his might, I break his soul, I break his will. Look, he's went down. And he's been stopped in one championship, and he nearly got stopped in his last fight. That shows me there's massive chinks in his armour. He isn't the savage that I am. He isn't built the way I am.
You're going to break this man's heart, aren't you? I can't wait for it, mate. Honestly, it's an absolute blockbuster. And the one championship have to make that fight next. I believe that's the biggest fight.
They have to. I hope that they don't. I hope that they don't try to build it up until they bring the one championship to the UK, because that's years away maybe. So I hope they don't try to build it up for that, because it needs to happen before that.
Fighting's all about timing. This is the right time to make this fight now.
Of course it is. Absolutely. It has to be.
Yeah, before we close up, mate, I'd like to get your thoughts on a massive fight coming the 25th of May down in Leeds. It's Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall. How do you see this fight going down?
My head's telling me to speak about Josh Taylor win, but I don't. Looking on his last performance, I'm a massive Josh Taylor fan. Just what to say. Obviously, I'll always support my own Scotland, but the last fight and then the fight after that against Teofimo Lopez, I watched that because I'm a massive Taylor fan.
Yeah.
And I watched the same mistakes he made against Catterall. He'd done the exact same stuff against Teofimo. And Teofimo in the end made it look quite easy because he's probably watched the Catterall fight and he's prepared, in my opinion, the exact same way. And when I've watched now more fights, it looks like Josh Taylor has a very one style way of fighting. Mm-hmm. He's southpaw, he comes in, he throws to the body and goes to the head, and he's always doing the same stuff.
Yeah.
And I think if this pattern keeps up, then I think the person fighting him, it will be a pretty easy game plan to work towards.
What I thought in the first fight was that Jack was very, very good at cutting down Josh's punching space. Josh Taylor usually mid to long range is one of the best out of the day, but he just couldn't get anything off.
That was today with Catterall's game planning, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, styles make fights, and it was a horrible fight, fucking for the sake of being too close and like that all the time, but oh my god, it's what you do to win, isn't it?
And as I said to you, Jack's very good at the basics. Was a cracking 1-2 down the pipe, but Josh, I honestly believe Josh Taylor has to turn this into a 6-round firefight. I'll tell you why, because Josh Taylor making 140 is a big struggle now. He said it in the Teofimo fight.
Is it 140 again?
Yeah, so he was after 4 or 5 rounds in the Teo fight.
That was it. He looked amazing. And in the end, Teofimo made it look pretty easy. And I don't know if that's the day with Teofimo or that's the day with Josh. Josh's gas running out. Mm-hmm. Listen, I hope Josh wins.
Yeah.
I hope he wins. But again, he is older than Jack.
That's correct. Yeah.
So listen, it's a young man's game, and it always will be. It will always belong to the younger man.
Yeah. Emotions will be running high. And I think Joe McNally and Jamie have got a massive job to do in this week because they've got to get these guys disciplined, get them switched on. But I've got to be honest with you, I think Josh Taylor, if he can close the show inside 6 rounds, he gets the job done. But if it goes by 6, the pendulum may swing.
Because of the weight cut.
Because of the weight cut. But don't be surprised, I've said this a few weeks ago, don't be surprised if Josh Taylor misses the weight with 1 or 2 pounds. I've got a funny feeling he might miss the weight.
So what happens there?
Well, if it's in the contract, then Josh would need to...
Because there's no titles on the line anyway.
Josh would need to pay Catterall a kind of fee, I don't know how it's worked out. But so if I'm Sam Jones, who's Catterall's manager, he's got to be switched on. But I think Josh might miss the weight of 1 or 2 pounds. I might be wrong, I don't know, but we'll see.
I think everybody's just going to there Ryan Gussie, you know. Fuck it, I don't want to come in at the right weight, I want to win this fight.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man.
Making weight's the hardest part, do you know what I mean?
Of course it is, mate. Rips the fucking fun and might out of the full fucking sport.
Yeah.
It's horrible, so it is.
But I'm going to push you for a prediction that fight, Nico. How do you see it going down?
I think you've done a pretty good analysis here, to be honest. I want Josh Taylor to win, but I think if he boxes this, and he's inactive, which inactivity kills fighters.
Yeah,
I might say as a fighter, I know this, so that could play against him. Okay, I think that if Josh boxes the same way that he is in his last 2 performances, he'll get beat.
Think Catterall can stop him due to the weight?
I think they could stop each other.
Because look at Josh Taylor's resume. He beat Ramirez, Postol, Baranchek. These guys are top level dudes. Who's Jack Catterall beat? A Hara Davis, a washed up Jorge Linares, who's a natural lightweight. It might come down to experience, but I do believe the weight cut might be a lot. That's why I think Josh will close the show inside 6. I really do.
Now, when you say that, I also do believe that the level of opponent that Taylor's fought is just way superior. And I'm positive Taylor's smart enough to not make the same mistakes. So,
Josh Taylor victory, mate. Aye.
Josh Taylor victory.
Well, listen, mate, I can't thank you enough for today. Thanks so much for your time. I wish you all the best in the future, health, success and happiness.
Thank you.
Go get that belt, mate. Anything you'd like to add before we close up?
Just, thank you. Grateful to be here. Grateful to have a primed working body. You can push me to the limit every day. Aye mate, I'm just happy mate, I'm just grateful.
Yeah, where can we catch you on your social media platforms, things like that, to let everybody know?
So I mainly just use Instagram. My name on that's Nico Carrillo _KOTN. Aye, if you're a Muay Thai fan, I also have a website, a Muay Thai tutorial. It's just all my favourite techniques, tricks, stuff that I've learned over the years and years of fighting. And that's nicocarrillotraining.com. Subscribe to that. But aye, thank you.
Aye, good man, top man, God bless.
Thank you mate.
Well done.